Hi everyone, today's video is a prenatal yoga video. Those who know me, I am no stranger to being pregnant and teaching yoga. So I'm not currently pregnant, however, tons of family and friends are pregnant. And so I just really want to do this video for those who are sporting a nice big belly and want to keep up their yoga practice. So it's going to be a really gentle flow. So we're still gonna get into those vinyasa poses, but they're going to just really accommodate if you are pregnant. So hope you enjoy. I do suggest having a bolster, or you can just use a plain old pillow that you sleep on. That works as well. And a block. So if you do have two of these things or things that could replace them, that will come in really handy during this flow. All right, so just leaving the block and the bolster off to the side for right now. Depending on your belly size, if you're early in your pregnancy, you can still come on to the stomach in child's pose. However, once that belly starts to pop out a little bit, you're going to want to avoid putting any of your weight onto your stomach. So let's just come onto our knees, separate the knees wide. We're going to come onto our forearms. So right here, this is going to give us a decent amount of space. If your belly is big enough that you're still touching the mat, again, you don't want any weight to the belly, you can just stay right here, sitting into those knees. This is going to open up the hips. This is good for the knees. It's going to bring some circulation through the legs. So we'll just start by connecting to our breath. I just want you to take 5 really deep inhales, exhales to fill up the lungs and send your exhales through the body into any spots that you're feeling tightness. I know hips really act funny when you're pregnant. It's just because of that, added weight and pressure that's going all into your hips, obviously preparing you for birth. But just breathe. That's kind of the main thing. And not only will your yoga breath help you through your practice and help calm your mind, help stress relief throughout your day, it's also going to help you prepare for that big day when you deliver, and you really got to focus on your breath. So breathing, 5 breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Just really starting to calm the mind, tuning into the body, tuning into the belly. Inhale and exhale. 2 more breaths. And final breath. We're going to shift into a tabletop. So go ahead, and if you're in that child's pose, gently make your way up to hands and knees. If you're just sitting into the knees, go ahead and make your way onto hands and knees. Let's start with some cat-cow to wake up the spine. So again, everything we're doing is very gentle, okay? About a quarter effort of what you would typically do in a normal practice when you're not pregnant. So inhale to arch the back, tailbone tilts towards the ceiling, chin raises, opening up the neck and the chest and the heart. And exhale, rounding the back, tucking the chin, pressing out of the shoulders. Go ahead and go at your own pace, really over-exaggerating the curvature happening in the spine. So visualize that spine arching and rounding. Let's go ahead and take one more inhale, arch, and exhale to round. Returning back to that neutral spine. Tabletop. We're going to practice a little bit of our balance by extending the right arm forward and sending that left leg back. Now, I know that they say do not do core work when you're pregnant. However, there's a difference between doing abs, like crunches, sit-ups, and then still strengthening your core. You're perfectly fine to strengthen your core throughout your pregnancy. Actually, it's good for you and it's beneficial for you, and it helps again prepare you for that big day when you need to use those muscles to help push the baby out. So this right here is all of your core. You're not targeting just certain abdominal muscles. You're using your back, your legs, everything. So this is perfectly fine. One breath. And exhale to release, and we'll go to the other side. Same thing, just reaching, just working to your degree, going to your modifications depending on where you are in your pregnancy, listening to your body, honoring your boundaries. One breath here. And we're releasing out of that side. Let's go ahead and shift up into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes and send those hips up. I suggest keeping the knees softened unless you've been practicing yoga throughout your entire pregnancy and you have the flexibility in those hamstrings and calves. Then go ahead and go to that full degree of downward dog. But softening the knees is a great modification. Just taking it nice and easy. And go ahead and let the head release so the neck is long. Gaze goes right in between those feet. I'll move my bolster out of the way. Let's walk the feet forward to meet those hands, and we'll take a nice ragdoll. Feet are nice and wide. Typically I go hip width distance, but let's widen them out even further to the edges of the mat. So there's plenty of space for your belly to fall right in between those thighs. Grab for opposite elbows, let the head be heavy. I encourage you to sway gently side to side, front to back, really feeling the weight shifting through the feet. I don't know about you guys, but my feet grew quite a bit during both of my pregnancies. So if your feet are feeling a little different than normal, that's okay. You're just tuning in, noticing these either subtle or kind of extreme changes that take place during pregnancy in your body. Let's go ahead and add in a nice gentle twist. So again, keeping the feet nice and wide so the belly falls right in between these legs. Left hand under the heart center. Begin to open up the right arm. Keep that left knee nice and soft. If you'd like to straighten out the right leg to deepen that stretch, you can do that, or just keep both knees softened. And just go to your degree in the twist. Nice deep inhale. And exhale to release down. Other side. Right knee definitely stays softened, opening up that left arm, either straightening the left leg or keeping both knees bent. One more inhale. And exhale to release. Let's go ahead and roll up to mountain, stacking those vertebrae one by one. Coming to a nice tall mountain pose at the top. Go and heel to the feet in just a little bit. We want to get back to that hip width distance stance. This is going to help with your foundation of your postures, your balance. Typically in vinyasa, feet are side by side. But when you're pregnant, I suggest that nice hip width distance stance. You can walk the feet forward if you'd like towards the top of the mat as we're going to begin our flow. We're just going to take it nice and slow, nice and easy. So inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale to forward fold. Soften the knees as you come on down. And an inhale, halfway lift to lengthen through the spine. Place the palms. We're going to step back and we're gonna come down to our knees. So if you wanna go ahead and drop that back knee and then bring the other knee back, that works. So we're not going to chaturanga down to the belly, but we're gonna do kind of a improvised chaturanga. So basically, you're bending the elbows, you're lowering down, kind of like a modified push-up. And then, once you get to that halfway point, you're just going to go ahead and arch the back. Okay, so we're avoiding really bringing any weight onto that stomach. And then, gently reverse out of it, tuck the toes, lift those hips. All right, so that is our modified prenatal chaturanga, we'll call it. And let's step the right foot forward in between the hands. If you need to just make a small step and then grab the back of that calf and help shift that foot forward a little bit further for that nice long stance, you can do that. Let's go ahead and spin the back heel down. We're gonna make our way up to a warrior one. So keeping in mind this belly's right here, keep it on the inside of that thigh. So try not to squish the belly with that right thigh. As you make your way up to warrior one, we're gonna take a nice shoulder rinse here. Again, to open up that front body, create a little bit of space. So inhale, interlace the fingers, open up the chest, pull the shoulders back. And then we're gonna fold to the inside of that right thigh again. So belly is right here on the inside of the thigh. You're rinsing the shoulders to your degree, whatever feels good for you. Relax the neck. All right, we're going to release the hands. Lift the back heel again. The belly is right on the inside of that thigh. Left palm down, nice and wide. Give yourself plenty of space here. And we're gonna open up the right arm. So we've kind of transitioned from warrior two legs into crescent lunge for a nice open twist. Gaze can go up past those fingertips. And release. We're gonna spin the back heel down. We're gonna come up one last time to warrior two. Nice deep breath, and we'll reverse our warrior. And we're gonna cartwheel the hands to the mat. This is where it gets a little tricky. We're gonna step back to that modified chaturanga. So if you need to drop down to that left knee, help get that right leg back behind you. Coming to this modified push-up position on the knees. Bend the elbows to your degree. Inhale into a mini cobra and tuck the toes. Lift those hips back to downward facing dog. Nice deep breath here. Let's step the left foot forward. So again, however you get that foot forward, it's up to you. Spinning the back heel down, belly on the inside of the thighs. You make your way up to our warrior one. Going into a nice deep shoulder rinse. Again, to open the chest. Inhale. Exhale, rinsing and folding the inside of that left thigh. Rinsing the shoulders to your degree. Releasing that shoulder rinse. Go ahead and place the right palm out to the side, even if it's off the mat. So give yourself plenty of space here as you lift that back heel for crescent lunge legs. Open up to that twist, crescent lunge open twist with the left arm. Releasing the left hand. It can even come to the inside of that left foot if that helps. Spin the back heel down. We'll windmill the arms to our warrior two into a reversed warrior for an inhale. And then we're cartwheeling the hands to the mat. Go ahead and drop that back knee as we send our left knee back for modified chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, or mini cobra. Exhale, downward dog. And finding a breath here. This is a great time to check in and see how this flow is feeling for you, if it's a little bit too intense, if you need to just come down and maybe take a fetal pose, or if you're okay to lie on the back for a minute or two in Shavasana, you can take that. If you're feeling good, then you can go ahead and continue with our flow. So we're going to lift the heels, bend the knees, and step forward to meet those hands. However many steps you need to get up there. Remember, feet hip-width distance. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Let's inhale, dive up, nice and controlled. And exhale, forward fold. Soft knees as you come down. Inhale, halfway lift. Step back. Drop those knees, chaturanga. Inhale, mini cobra or up dog, and exhale back to downward dog. Let's flow through that one more time. We'll add on a few little different things to mix it up. So let's step the right foot forward for our warrior one. Inhale those arms up. This time, we're just going to stay in the shoulder rinse, sending the heart high. Big inhale. Go ahead, bring the torso to center, open up to a warrior two. Reach through those fingertips. Let's take a side or a reverse warrior, opening up this right side body. Let the gaze fall down to that back foot. Just getting a little different stretch in the neck. And then we'll bring the right elbow to the knee, coming into a side angle. So here we are, side angle. If you'd like to try a half bind, it's really gonna open up this left shoulder. Gently wrap the left arm behind the back. Got your block here. Anytime you have the hand down underneath the shoulder, use that block if you need to. It just provides that, it basically raises the mat up to your hand and just gives you a little bit of less of a stretch. And we'll release out of the half bind. Go ahead and place the palm. We're going right into that open twist. So the back heel lifts. Again, using that block underneath the palm if you'd like. I'm going to scoop my block out a little bit wider so I have plenty of space for my imaginary belly. And we'll release down. Take the block, get it out of the way so you can take your nice gentle chaturanga. Drop down to that back knee, send the right leg back, and lower down. Inhale, up dog or mini cobra, and exhale back to downward dog. And we'll go into the other side. Left leg, warrior one. I suggest bringing the block over to the other side where you'll be using it with the right palm. Spin the back heel down. Come on up, warrior one. For our shoulder rinse, sending the heart high, taking the gaze up. Releasing, just bring the torso up to center as you open to warrior two. Deep breath and reverse your warrior. Taking that gaze to the right foot for a nice neck stretch. And right into our side angle. Left elbow kind of rest up against that left knee. And adding in a half bind if that feels good on the right shoulder. Releasing the half bind. Taking our crescent lunge open twist, so make sure to lift that back heel first, protect the knee joint. Place the palm onto the block, under the shoulder. Lots of space here for the belly as you open up that left arm. And releasing out of it. Again, this is our kind of tricky part, getting into that chaturanga, so modify however you need to. I suggest dropping that back knee, placing the hands, you can shift that left knee back, finding a modified chaturanga, bend the elbows, inhale, mini cobra, exhale back to downward dog. We're going to take a three-legged dog, but we're going to take it nice and, I want you to be really gentle. We don't want to open those hips. I don't even know if that's possible, but I just know when you're pregnant, there's a chemical that's released in your body and it allows your hips to be like hyper flexible. So Again, we're just doing quarter effort of what you normally would do. So send the right leg up. If you'd like to roll that hip open, this is where we want to be gentle. Even if you feel like you can deepen, maybe just stay where you are. Back off a little bit. Feel free to soften that knee. And we'll release out of that side. And lift the left leg. Same thing, going to the same degree. And releasing. All right, walk those feet forward to meet the hands, little baby steps. Go ahead and roll up to mountain. Let's take one more inhale. Arms come up overhead. Exhale those hands to the heart center. We're going to do a little bit of balancing. It's not going to be anything crazy because I don't want you to fall. All right, but it is good just to check in with both sides of the body and see where you are balance-wise. So we're going to try a tree pose. Let's start off, I'll mirror you. So let's start off with the right leg bending. Just go ahead and place the sole of the foot up against that left ankle. So go ahead and keep the big toe grounded into the mat. Let's bring the hands to the heart center. And we'll send the arms up high. I'm going to adjust the camera here slightly. I think my head is being cut off. There we go. Okay. So arms are up high. Let's just bring the arms down, extending straight out. Roll the shoulders down away from those ears. Now, if you feel comfortable, if you're pretty solid in your yoga practice, feel free to pick up those toes and rest the sole of the foot on the inside of the calf. We're just going to flip the palms up and bring those hands back through heart center. Final breath here. And release that right foot to the mat. Going to the other side. So start off, big toe stays grounded, sole of the foot presses into the left calf. Hands are at heart center. You're breathing, you're really calming the mind, you're just tuning into the body, tuning everything else out. And let's extend those arms up high. And arms come down, straight out, palms down. Feel free to pick up that foot if it feels right. And palms up, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Bringing those hands back through heart center one last time for one more breath. And releasing the foot down to the mat. Let's go ahead and separate the feet wide. We are going to take a nice, deep, wide-legged stretch. So extend those arms out. Inhale, open the chest, gazes forward, and start to shift the hips behind you. Flat back as you lower down, soften the knees as much as you need to, eventually bringing those hands right underneath the face or the heart center. Great place to use your block. Just place those hands on the block at whatever height works for you, okay? Depends on the flexibility in those hamstrings. Take another open twist just like we did in the beginning. So let's keep the left hand down right into the heart center. We'll open up that right arm. You might notice, since you're a little more warmed up, you can twist a little bit deeper. Still listening to the body. And releasing out of that side. Left arm opens. And releasing out of that side. Let's go ahead and extend those arms and very carefully making your way back up to center. Heel toe those feet in. pivot towards the front of the mat. We're gonna flow one more time to get ourselves into a half pigeon. So feet hip width distance. Let's inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale to forward fold, soften the knees. Inhale, halfway lift, place the palms, go ahead and step back. Come onto those knees as you do your modified chaturanga. Inhale, mini cobra. Exhale, downward dog. All right, we are going to bring that right knee forward and drop the knee right under the chest. This will depend on how pregnant you are. If you're towards the end of your pregnancy, there just might not physically be space for the belly and the knee and everything to be in such a close area. So if that's the case, I suggest doing a reclined half pigeon. I know it gets kind of tricky. You don't want to be on your back for too long towards the end of your pregnancy. So just listen to the body. It's okay if you're there for a minute or so, but yeah, if you are able to do this half pigeon, that's great because that's going to really stretch out that glute and that right hip. Now here is where you can bring in that bolster. So just slide it in front of you, drop down to the elbows or forearms, go ahead and relax the neck, and just breathe. Again, trying to calm the mind. Just let some of that stress go from the day. Take one more breath here. And let's go ahead and come up to the palms, removing the bolster for a moment. We're going to just roll onto that right hip. Be careful of this back knee. What we're going to do is bend the right foot in and keep that left leg extended. And we're just going to stretch out the back of the left leg with a nice head to knee forward fold. So arms come up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, folding over that left leg. Now I'm going to have you reach the right arm up and over just so you're not only opening up the right side body, but you're just creating lots of space for the belly. Not worrying about folding over the thigh. And very gently releasing that right hand. Come on up. All right, we're going to go to the other side. So we're actually going to be spinning or looking the other direction to get into our half pigeon. So go ahead and bend that left knee. We're going to extend the right leg straight back. We're going to start to square off those hips, again depending on where your belly is, how far it's sticking out. You can lower down to the forearms onto the bolster. Get comfortable for about 3 really long breaths. One more breath. Go ahead and make your way up. You can remove that bolster, roll onto the left hip. We're going to take that nice forward fold stretch over the right leg. So right leg is straight, left knee is bent unless it's more comfortable for you to have both legs bent or straight, that's fine. Arms come up for inhale. And exhale to fold. Notice I'm not folding directly over the thigh and keeping belly on the inside. And we're going to reach that left arm up and over. Gaze can be wherever feels the most natural or neutral on the neck. Let's take one more breath. And come on up. Release that left arm, bring the torso up. Let's take a wide-legged forward fold. So legs out to your degree. You can bring that bolster in front of you again so you can rest your forearms onto the bolster. We're tilting at the hips, and you're just allowing yourself to hang out here, clear the mind, breathe. Stretching is so important throughout your pregnancy. I don't know if any of you are getting leg cramps, but I would wake up out of a dead sleep with horrible hamstring cramps. Charlie horses, oh, they're terrible. But stretching helped, it really did. So even if you're just sitting watching TV, wide legs, get a pillow, hang out in this position for a couple of minutes. And let's go ahead and come on up. We are going to move into a couple restorative postures. We're going to use the bolster or the pillow. So we're going to come onto our back. We're not going to be here long, so if you do have any issues coming onto your back, just come to a seated position or stay in one of those stretching positions that felt good for you. A good seated position is just butterfly, knees open wide, trying not to round the shoulders, but keep the shoulders over the hips. Just close your eyes and breathe for a couple of minutes. If you are able to come onto the back, bring that edge of the bolster right up against kind of where almost your tailbone is, or your sacrum is. That's that flat bone kind of right above your tailbone. And then we're just going to lower down onto the bolster. Use any grips that you need to. I know all your muscles go away, so it's hard to do any sort of controlled sitting up or sitting back. So just get yourself into a comfortable position onto the bolster. So you're lying nice and flat onto it, or pillow, two pillows, whatever you have working for you. And this is just a supported Shavasana. Now if you'd like to bring the soles of the feet together, moving into a Supta Baddha Konasana, supported bound angle, you can do that. At this point, it's just all about what feels right for your body. And of course, hands on the belly is a must when you're pregnant. Doing prenatal yoga. Go ahead and close your eyes if they're open. Tune in to your body, to your belly. Nice long deep inhales, exhales, calming the mind. Couple more breaths here. And if the knees are splayed apart, go ahead and bring those knees back together. We're going to shift off of the bolster. So go ahead and roll onto one side. I'm rolling onto my left side. We're going to push ourselves up just to get the bolster out from underneath us. Here for now. We're going to lay back down onto the back. We're going to take a supine twist. So I'll actually be using that bolster again here in a second, so don't put it too far out of the way. Go ahead and bend the right knee in, and we're going to guide that right knee across the body. Now taking the bolster or the pillow, just tuck it right underneath that knee so it's completely supported, the leg as well, the calf and the foot. Now arms, you can open up that right arm if that feels good for you, or Just keeping the arm next to your side, maybe hand on the belly. Just a really gentle twist. And we'll release out of this side and we'll very carefully go to the other side. So bringing that right knee in, you can extend the right leg and kind of shift onto that right hip, bringing the bolster or the pillow to the opposite side. And then guiding the left knee across the body. And make sure the leg is completely supported. So readjust the pillow or bolster however you need to so that you can actually release and just relax for a moment. Doing whatever feels good for the arms. Maybe even cactus that left elbow, let the gaze fall off to the left side. Just stretch the neck. This makes me miss being pregnant. I never thought I would say that, but oh. And we'll go ahead and bring that left knee back in. Maybe give it a gentle squeeze and release. Let's go ahead and roll onto the right hand side. Push yourself up very gently. And we'll close our prenatal practice today. So you can bend those knees if that feels good, or legs wide like we were earlier. Just all about what's comfortable for you and your body. So let's go ahead and sweep the arms up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. And namaste.